Happy Thursday, everybody. It's time for patch 12.17. Not the world's patch. We've got one more to go, but we're almost there.
Yes.
This might be a long one. There's a handful of changes. I mean, granted, they could be little small things. We have the Hecarim and Maokai, which I don't think we should go over in detail. We made an episode on that last week, so go listen to that one. But let's really quick. Let's get into last week's poll. So we're gonna be doing episode 90's poll, which was the champion review one, and we asked, how would you change Nasus's passive? Mayo wrote in and said they should give him increased movement speed towards lower health targets, including minions and monsters, and maybe scaling lifesteal as the game goes on. Now that sounds fucking broken as shit.
That sounds hella broken.
Granted, I mean, Nasus now usually takes Ghost. And if you take Wither, I don't know, I guess you could take, I'm assuming if you go Grasp and then secondary you go Inspiration, you could take Approach Velocity. So you're going to be sticking onto those people pretty hard. That might be too much of a buff.
That could be too broken, dude.
The scaling lifesteal one is interesting just because I guess I don't know, I was looking at this and I was like, because the later the game goes, the more stacks he gets, the more damage he gets. I think his passive peaks at 18% lifesteal.
Okay.
I mean, the more stacks you have, the more damage you're doing, the more healing you're getting. You could argue that's more healing.
I'm following you.
It might be too OP what you're suggesting.
There's a huge possibility that's way too fucking OP. But I appreciate the ingenuity because, I mean, sometimes you just gotta...
I like the idea of him getting movement speed towards minions at least. Oh shit, I'm gonna miss this cannon minion. No, I'm not, and I got movement speed.
Right.
I could see that. That'd be interesting. That'd be fucking funny.
Yes.
But Mayo,
That
thank
would
you.
be...
Thank you.
That actually would be really fucking funny thinking about it.
That'd be Trick 2G would be all over that, dude.
Oh, he would be fucking stoked, dude.
Gotta get the caddy. But yeah, thank you,
That's
Mayo.
right.
Thank you.
Yes. We also had a submission from or at least a submission from a new person that hasn't submitted before. Let me put it that way. Trevor. He said maybe his passive could use the stacks a lot like GPs, where he could use them as a currency that gives him a permanent effect. That's an interesting thought. I'm not sure how that would look. Like, how do you make that look? Like, what effects are you thinking of? Like, are you saying like maybe he opts to buy extra move speed instead of lifesteal or something like that? Maybe like I could see like a trade-off system like that.
Maybe instead of using it as a currency, there's milestones. Do you remember old Cassiopeia where you had to get stacks of her poison? And then I think once it reached 100, that's when her twin fangs could be like on spam or something like. I can't remember how she worked. But
I kind of remember what you're talking about a little bit.
Maybe at like 100 stacks, he gains a percentage of armor or magic resist.
Right.
Maybe at 500 stacks, his Q does percent damage or something. Or like, I kind of like the idea of having, maybe not a currency unless they could somehow weave into his like lore some kind of like, I don't know.
I think like if you wanted to weave into a lore, you might have to like lean on the Anubis aspect of it, the scale aspect. So I think like if you turn into like some sort of trade-off system, that makes sense, right? Because you have to kind of balance it out. Like, oh yeah, well you lose this, but you gain this, or whatever. But you could do that on a milestone system, I think.
Sure.
So I think that's actually really interesting. That's a great idea. Had a great one from our buddy Calientes. And this is a long one. It was too long to fit in the Spotify character limit, so bear with me here. Calientes says, if we're updating to 2022 standards, it has to be unnecessarily long. I suggest changing absolutely nothing relating to the lifesteal stats given, but turning the passive ability tooltip into a Star Guardians-esque graphic novel telling the story of Susan and his fractious relationship with Renekton, with a new panel unlocking each level. Again, In keeping with 2022 standards, the player must progress through the dialogue options before they can upgrade one of his skills, with unskippable cutscenes that open a new browser window over the client at levels 6, 11, and 16. I am so sorry for this monstrosity. Nothing to apologize
Fucking
for.
funny, dude.
Like,
oh
as
my God.
as like that wouldn't work in the game. That's hilarious. Thank you for submitting that. Seriously, that's. I had a great chuckle when I read that this morning. So seriously, thank you.
That's like of the 3 suggestions, that's probably the most likely one to happen. Next year's summer event is going to be NASA's passive update, and it's going to be
Right.
a fucking novel, dude. Speaking,
I thought that was pretty good. I
No,
really
I
did
like that
appreciate
one.
that one.
that's a good one, Calientes. Thank you for writing that in. Guys, you don't have to also necessarily have to write in serious answers too.
Yes.
If you want to try to make us laugh, do it. That was fucking hilarious.
Perfect.
So please,
Perfect place for this.
right. So yeah, guys, thank you for writing in. I also want to touch on talking about like a novel. I did end up getting the Rune Nation book,
Oh yeah, that's right.
and I got that
Have you
yesterday. I
started
started reading
reading
it. I read the prologue, and it is. I mean, it's already so in depth with shit, and I'm like trying to. It's also pretty easy to read too, because
I believe it.
You know, I'm 30, but I read at like a 7th grade level, so. It's if I can read it, you can read it. So I'll be checking in and letting you guys know how I'm enjoying it so far. But so far, you know, it's fun. It's good.
Good. That's actually really good to hear.
And I hope that like if this is successful, who knows what other like story. I mean, they have endless stories they can tell.
Right.
And
This is true.
so
Very true.
yeah, I mean, let's fuck it. Let's get into the pack. Actually, you know what? No, really quick. One more thing I want to do is say, I don't know if you saw this, but they revealed the world's / championship skin that they do every year.
Oh, they did. I didn't see that.
It's Azir. It's not championship anymore. It's Worlds 2022 Azir.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It literally looks like another futuristic robot skin. Right.
Of course it does.
Right, please. I'm gonna bring it up on screen here, but maybe you can look it up yourself too. But Riot, please, what are you guys doing with like? It looks like Pulsar Azir, like literally.
Let's see. Worlds 2022 Azer. Yeah, I don't.
I'm showing it on screen. Like what?
Yeah.
Why? What's someone on the Riot the skins team has a boner for like robotic shit right now? Like I don't understand.
Yeah, we need to. We need to figure this out, dude. This is.
I mean, it's sick. He deserves a skin. I can't remember what his last skin was. Maybe
This looks like almost Project is here.
right. It's
Project Pulsefire. Like,
it's just
can
futuristic.
we come up with something else other than futuristic robots? I think we're futuristic robot did out. I didn't even know how to. Yeah, futuristically roboted out. I think like we need a new thematic. I know they're kind of tired of like the pool party stuff, but like I don't know, dude. We need a new fucking thematic. I don't know how else to put it. Like the Zenith games, the skins coming up on this next patch, those are cool. I have no problems with those. They're not futuristic robots. Like sure, they have some like updated stuff, but like think who you're picking, right? You have Blitzcrank, who is a robot. You kind of round him out, make him look kind of like an evil robot, sure. Lee Sin just looks like a cyberpunk kind of idea, and Jace doesn't look quite cyberpunk. He looks like good guy cyberpunk maybe, but like I
don't know. It looks futuristic to me, and I'm sick of it. And then
it's futuristic, but it's not robots. Like okay,
and then they have King Viego, which is like so random, but so I like that. But
that's from the Ruin Kings game, right?
yeah, it's I mean pre Ruination Viego,
Mm-hmm.
but like that's just so what. What's also talk about the pairing of these skins? Where does that come from?
Yeah, I have no idea why they just randomly decided to release that. They don't make any fucking sense.
Is the Zenith games for
I have no idea.
are the
Looks like
Olympics
Rocket League
going
to
on
me.
right now, or I don't know. Yeah, it does kind of look like
Mute.
Rocket League, huh? I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not Rito. I can't.
What are you
get
talking
into the
about?
mind
You
of a
are.
Rito. Oh, you're right. You caught me.
Damn it. Yeah, I don't know. There's some skins have been coming up and hitting a miss, and then Just one more thing really quick is they released the next Ashen Knight, whatever, and
Okay.
it's Silas. I don't know what it's called, Ashen Slayer, but I don't know what's going on. Like, Ashen Knight Pike was so fucking good, and then the Pantheon one was just and then this one is just there's nothing knight about him. It's just Silas that's like purple and doesn't have a shirt on still. Like what?
Silas and his penchant for not wearing shirts, dude.
I mean, it's fine, but like this is what I was like worried about when they were. It's like it's turning into what Hextech was, right? It was like all these Hextech skins. It's like, can we
Yeah.
just get something different? Like,
Can we get something new and fresh?
it doesn't have to be I mean, again, we don't work for Riot. I don't know what it takes to put in the effort to make these skins, and like props to these
Fair.
artists, that are doing this. But it's like someone is pitching them these ideas, and they're like, just do this. Like Riot,
Yeah, it's just kind of
blink
like
twice if they have a gun against your head. Like, I just don't like it when it's like the same shit. And
Right.
again, the Pike skin was great. I don't know if you're looking at it. I have it on screen right
Yeah.
now. It just doesn't look that great.
Yeah, just it looks very kind of looks like Zed here actually, like Deathsworn Zed.
Yeah.
It's not creative, and I'm sorry to whoever the artist is, but it's not creative in any way, shape, or form. We've seen this. The only thing you're adding is like, oh, okay, in the backing animation, he grows these wings. Like, okay, but like, can we like, we don't have to make 80 skins for each skin line, right?
I'll say one thing. This is very helpful in me not spending my mythic essence. Like this is a hard pass. Like I don't need to buy this.
Right. You're like, yeah,
The
we'll
fucking
cool off that.
the prestige skins have been way better.
Right.
So I mean, thank you, I guess, for not making me or not, making me like make. I have 400. How much do I have? 400 mythic essence. I'm like, nothing
Jesus.
else is still. Nothing is wanting me to spend it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean they're not doing themselves any favors to get you to spend it. So I mean, there's that. But what are you gonna do, huh?
Yeah, I don't know. What we are gonna do is get into patch 12.17 though.
Yes, we
Because there
are.
is a good amount of changes going on here. One thing, I have not looked at the notes yet, but skimming through Reddit comments, there may be a handful of grammatical errors. Because, their Riot is known for not proofreading their fucking patch notes. So there's a few things that people were pointing out that just don't make sense. So we might have to decipher them with our own logic to make sense of it. So thank God Zeri is not in here, because we would have been fucked if
Oh,
if
dude.
there was more Zeri changes.
I can't. I can't with that champion, man. I can't do it anymore. I just don't know what the fuck. They're always changing it. It's just like, is this the first patch where she doesn't get a change?
It might be.
Okay,
It's because they nerfed her into the fucking.
it's an improvement, right?
Just wait, when preseason hits, every patch is gonna be her. I guarantee you.
Probably because she's fucking broken.com and they just don't know what to do to make her not absolutely gigabusted, and like there's a reason she has all the fucking pentakills in this game. So
Someone needs to make a meme with the Shane Company guy that's like, Zeri's gonna get changed next patch. I guarantee it. That is no, is that Men's Warehouse?
Men's Warehouse.
Okay. Shane Company's Diamond.
Yes.
Sorry, this is probably not a
Shane
lot
Company
of people.
is not going to be recognizable to anybody
I was,
outside of
that's
the
I was
Bay
like,
Area.
I was like, fuck. Okay, whatever. Anyways,
That's all right.
let's get on the patch notes. So first we got Ari. Charm duration decreased early. So current charm duration is 1.4 to 2 seconds. Now is 1.2 to 2 seconds. Literally, I don't think that's going to make a difference.
Slight difference, but not a huge difference.
I mean, I guess because you max charm last.
Yeah, you're just
Generally?
using it early, right?
So-
Your Q max and use your W max for the movement speed. The charm is just your engage, and you're not getting a good return on it, right? Not much of a cooldown difference. So that's just a little tweak to make her not quite as strong early.
Right. Okay.
All right, we got Azir with the WAP scaling decrease. The cooldown increased early, and the E cooldown increased. This dude has been ripping up playoffs in NA at least. I haven't checked any other region because I'm a lazy son of a bitch and don't watch every region. So I don't know where he's at there. However, in NA, he seems to be the champion that's winning the playoff games. Because he outscales like a motherfucker. So the W Arise. The soldier damage is going to lose 5% on the AP ratio. Everything else is going to remain the same. And the cooldown was 8 to 6 seconds, going to go to 9 to 6 seconds. So they are trying to hit him a little bit on the earlier side, but keep his late game intact, but just make it harder for him to scale into it. The E shifting sands is going to go from 19 to 15 seconds, is now going to be decreased to increased to 22 to 16 seconds
That's
on the
pretty
cooldown.
fat. 3 seconds.
That's a fat early nerf, and I think you max the Q before you max the E. So
You do, it's QW and then E.
yeah,
So it's going to hurt until you get to level
yeah.
like 13 or
right.
14. Yikes.
Okay.
All right, moving on to Camille. Passive shields increased. E damage increased. This worries me because this champion can fucking take over games.
Right.
Percent HP shield for her passive, 17% to 20%. Okay. And then the hook shot damage was 60 to 200 with 75% bonus AD scaling. Now it is 80 to 200 with 90% bonus AD scaling. Wow.
Wow. That's pretty fucking
That's
nuts.
actually insane. I mean, granted, your E isn't the main damage provider for your
Right.
kit. It's
right.
your engage, but like, man, and an extra 3% on the HP. Camille's like deceptively tanky. Sure, she's a bruiser, but
Right.
like, you'll be like, oh, I'm gonna go trade with Camille. Just kidding. She's gonna get a fucking shield that
Right.
absorbs all the damage I do. So
Not only that, she's actually like a deceptively strong champion in terms of damage output. Like, yes, she's a bruiser, but she scales out of control. Most bruisers don't scale out of control, right? Most bruisers are like early to mid game champs, and she's the one who's like, late game. I'm gonna outscale you. You're not gonna be able to do anything.
she has a fucking Cho'Gath ult on her Q too for the true damage.
Right.
Like, it does so much The fact that it does the damage to turrets too is pretty fucking gross.
It is. It is.
So I'm also, she's a very good counter to Ornn. I know people are playing Aatrox into Ornn, but like
Right.
Camille will shit all over Ornn. So
Camille will help with the scaling part. Aatrox will not.
right, no, exactly.
All right. Next is Ezreal. Get an E cooldown decrease. He lost his place in pro play and solo queue, unless your name is Danny. So we're shifting him to a stronger place by buffing his E to create more windows for clutch defensive or offensive plays. So cooldown looks like it's dropping at 2 seconds at all ranks. So not a big difference, but I mean, when it's a 28-second cooldown, I'll take 2 seconds.
Right, and I mean, plus you're spamming your Q, it's going down another second and a half. I mean, it's gonna be up more often. So, obviously, but they'll take it. Graves Q cooldown decreased. Our base damage increased. Cooldown was 12 to 8 seconds. Now it is 13 to 7 seconds. So slight adjust. And then collateral damage was alt. Base was 250 to 550 with 150% bonus AD. Now it is 275 to 575 with 150% bonus. So it's keeping that. So base damage is going up by 25 at all ranks.
Oh, this fucking champion, dude. That champion's strong as fuck, and every time they buff him, I feel like he gets just overly strong, and he builds dumbass items like Eclipse, and you're fucked. Let's take a look. We got Hecarim next on the list here. We talked about Hecarim. I'm not going to go over every aspect. Let's see. You got a base armor decrease, an HP growth decrease. Looks like some scaling damage at the cost of the base damage on his Q. Damage per stack is up. We talked about that. Number of stacks, we talked about that. Mana cost is going to be 30 at all ranks.
Dude.
As opposed to a scaling cost. So we didn't talk about that. So that's pretty good. You'll be able to stack it 3 times. Get an extra extra couple percentage points in the damage per stack. So he might become a Q.
Well, you say,
I guess he has a Q max anyways, but
and the
fact better Q max.
The stack falling off one at a time, rather, because Prior, it would just all your 2 stacks would just go away.
Yeah,
This
yeah,
is
it's the what do they call it? The scaling fall or whatever.
this is like the most insane buff they could have given. This is so fucking gross, dude. Like this dude. I mean, oh, keep going. Well, I mean, we talked about it, but like, yeah.
He gets a cooldown nerf on his W. So his W used to be a flat 14 seconds at all ranks. It's now 16 to 14 seconds. But he gets a buff here where they remove the base armor off of him. Hecarim, when he uses this ability, gains 15 to 35 armor and MR while it's active. So he becomes a lot tankier while he's sapping your health. So that's actually pretty important. The E, Devastating Charge, is going to lose 5% on the bonus AD scaling ratio, and 10, that's on the minimum damage, and double that for the maximum damage. So it's 50% bonus AD and 100% bonus AD respectively. The minimum knockback isn't quite as far by 100 units, and same with the maximum knockback. And it gets a cooldown to 18 seconds at all ranks. So if you thought about leveling the second as opposed to Spirit of Dread, well, it's definitely a last level at this point. You're definitely leveling W up second instead.
I disagree.
The scaling cooldown plus the tankiness,
Yeah, but
you don't get any bonus out of it. I mean, you're just using it to knock somebody back.
I don't know. I guess. I don't know. We'll have to see.
I think you go W with the armored cavalry buff there. I think that's super important. And lastly is his Onslaught of Shadows. It's just a nerf to how long the fear is, 0.75 to 1.5 seconds instead of the 2 seconds it used to be, based on your distance traveled. So again, not going to go super in depth. We talked about a lot of that already. Some of these numbers are just updated. So
I'm still calling it, like, this is so fucking insane. Like his
I
jungle
think it's
clear,
really good.
His jungle clear is gonna be so much fucking faster.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, he's just gonna come out of the jungle tank or healthier too. Like,
Right.
Jesus Christ. I don't know.
No, I think it's a super good change. I'm excited to see it.
Next we have Kassadin. Q cooldown decreased, mana cost decreased. Cooldown was 11 to 9 seconds. Now it is 10 to 8 seconds. Mana cost was 70 to 90. Now it is 60 to 80. Small buff.
Okay.
Now we should be able to find some success and get those Casso wins. Okay.
All right. Don't be playing me for a fool, Riot. Maokai is another one we talked about, so I'm gonna rip through this pretty quickly. Maokai has been all bark and no bite for quite some time now. We're helping this tree rediscover his roots in both top lane and jungle without removing his ability to be a support. So the sap magic, getting hit by large jungle monsters now reduces sap magic's cooldown by 1.5 seconds per attack received. His heal is going to increase at max level, but it also scales longer than it did before. So it was 5 to 45 plus 4.5 to 11% max health, levels 1 through 15. It's now 4 to 34 plus 4.8 to 14% max health, levels 1 through 17. So that's where they're talking about the tankiness and the top lane and support builds being better in that regard. Did I say top lane and support? I meant top lane and jungle versus his support build where you tend to build a little bit more magic heavy, although still a viable tank support. Just throwing that out there. The Q Bramble Smash is going to lose early on its base damage and gain later. It was 70 to 230. It's now 65 to 245. The Q deals percent max health damage now, so adding a 2 to 3% scaling based on level. And the Q also deals bonus damage to monsters 40 to 120 based on level of the ability. Sorry, based on rank of the ability. I shouldn't say level, that's confusing. Sapling Toss, they no longer deal max percent health damage. And it's a sad day for support Maokai who wants to hurt tank enemies. Instead, they keep the bonus. No, they don't keep that. They add that. So, okay. Base damage was 20 to 120. It's now going to be 55 to 155. Scaling damage is where it changes. It was 70% per 100 AP. That would have been 70% of the target's max health. That's gone. So you're going to get a 42.5% AP ratio plus 6% bonus HP ratio. If you put it in a bush, you can double those numbers. So just to make it easy, double it. Minions no longer take empowered brush damage from saplings, so you're not clearing a wave with those anymore, which is actually a pretty broken way to use it. And the mana cost is dropping. It was 60 to 100. It's going to be 45 to 85. And the slow amount is going to go up by 10% from 35 to 45%. It used to be that brush saplings slowed for 35%. Here's where it's going to get a little confusing. They're going to slow for 45% plus 2% per 100 AP and 6% per 1,000 bonus HP.
That was something new they added. I do not remember discussing that when we talked about him. There's a scaling.
I don't think that was in there. Right.
I mean, that's big.
So that's very big. That's just saying build a Maokai with a Warmogs.
But like
you get a lot out of that.
You could easily have like 4,000 or 5,000 HP.
Right.
So 6%. So that's 30. You that's how it works. Or you multiply it, right? So if there's 5,000 HP, that's an extra 30% slow.
And throw in a demonic embrace in there because I'm sure you're gonna have a demonic embrace.
So you'll at least get the 2%. It's almost like an 80% slow, guys. Like that is
it's pretty nutty,
fucking insane. And then we're not even at his ult yet. So
right. Nature's Grasp. This skill needed some help, like really badly. We talked about this, I think, on that episode. Mm-hmm. So the missile's initial speed's going to be doubled. It was 50. It's not going to be 100. The max speed when it fully ramps was 650. It's now going to be 750, and it's going to accelerate a little bit faster. It was 250. It's now 300. Here's the new part. Maokai now gains 45 to 60% bonus move speed that decays over 2 seconds upon hitting enemy champions.
Oh, okay. So I was right.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
You were right.
That's good though. That's
because it wasn't very clear originally.
Right,
so
right. No,
but
but
that's
that's
more clear now.
40 to 60 move speed. That boy's gonna be hauling.
And he's just gonna press W onto you anyways.
Right, like you're not getting away. If this guy hits R and you get locked in this thing, you're
Good
probably
luck.
dead.
Unless you're a tank.
I mean, this is not an adjustment. This is just a fucking tank buff. Like,
no, it's definitely a tank buff. Definitely a tank buff.
I mean, they want to take away from the fucking. It's also going to be probably a little bit better for ARAMs too, just because like ARAM, all you do is just build like AP and just throw your fucking shit in the bushes, and then they're gonna die. So this is like taking away from Sapling Max.
Back to Q-Max.
Yeah, Q-Max is like, oh my god, the jungle clear is gonna be fucking. This is a good patch for junglers, guys.
I will say I have played a couple Maokai support games since then, and even the support build has gone back to being a tank with Q-Max even before the changes on these abilities. So that's just gonna make that style even better. But next up on the list, we got Miss Fortune, and I know we talked about her last time as well.
Mm-hmm.
You want to go into all the details here?
Let's see what they say. Q base damage increased late, cast time adjusted, W mana cost decreased, attack speed bonus increased, E cooldown increased, base damage decreased, AP scaling increased, now slow, now scales with AP. So every time you fucking see her, it's like it's mainly lethality or poke misfortune with Comet, Emax. That's fucking annoying as shit, and it not.
Is, dude.
Yeah. Because if you get hit with the E, like rank 5 E, and like you're standing in dead center of it, and then she can ult. You're not getting out of that because the slow is so intense. But like,
right,
it's kind of okay. So physical damage
She's disgusting.
on her Q base was physical damage. I don't understand what that means. Is this a typo? I don't understand why it just says physical damage. I'm assuming. This is just I don't know what that's supposed to mean.
Oh, you know what? It's because it doesn't scale with her AD. No, it does. You just get okay. It deals physical damage. That's how it works. No, this makes sense. So it was 20 to 100 base damage plus 100% of your AD plus 35% of your AP, but it deals as physical damage. I don't know why they just put it that way, but whatever. So you're just gonna get extra scaling later, so it's gonna be 20 to 120. So just a little bit stronger later. And then the cast time is going away and just gonna be just like another basic attack. Okay. Which is good.
Yeah, no, it's very good. So Q Max seems to be back. Strut.
Yep.
Mana cost was 45. Now it's 35. Attack speed bonus is going up by 10% all ranks. 40 to 100. Now it is 50 to 110. That's pretty good.
Okay.
So yeah,
That's
we
actually
want to
pretty
max W second now. Then make it rain. Cooldown increased. Was 18 to 10. Now it is 18 to 14. So again,
on.
it's punishing you.
Oh, yeah.
You do not want to max this second or first because it's gonna be worse
Yeah.
now, right?
Right. No, definitely max this last.
Full damage 8 ticks was 80 to 220 with an 80% AP scaling. Now it is 70 to 190 with 100% AP scaling. So if you want this to do damage, you're gonna have to commit to full AP. And then the slow was 40 to 60. Now it is a flat 50, but with a 40%. 4% per 100 AP on the slow. So
there's a couple things they're telling you here. So, one, if you're playing lethality MF, you max Q, and they're still making that a viable build. Okay, sure. If you're playing crit MF, you're gonna max W because you want the attack speed so you can have a better chance to crit more often. If you're playing AP MF, you max E because you're gonna get the scaling here off of the damage and the slow. So there's 3 different ways to play Misfortune, and 3 distinct different ability maxes when you're playing that style of Misfortune. So I think that's important to give her 3 different distinct identities. It should be pretty obvious to you once you're in the lobby. Now, if you're playing Lethality Misfortune, I probably move away from Comet and maybe you go Hail of Blades instead. Just to, you can use that in unison with the strut after you use Q or something like that. So I'm thinking that might be the way to go. I mean, you could still go Dark Harvest as well. That's still totally viable for the pop damage that you're looking for. So definitely different ways to play it. I do like this change. Getting her off of that Comet slow is important because that shit's fucking stupid.
I'm not sure about maxing W first in any circumstance.
Dude, crit attack speed and move speed.
Yeah, but I don't know. I mean, the Q damage is still going to be. Does the second part pop like scale with extra? Like crit?
What do you mean the crit?
When it bounces?
It just scales with a crit.
Yeah, so then why? Yeah, I don't know. I don't think. Well, I don't know. The other thing I did notice is when we did the episode last week, it did have a buff to her ult with the crit damage, I believe, and that is not here.
Oh yeah, that did not make it in, so that might have been too powerful.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, regardless, it's hopefully gonna get rid of the fucking Emax and
right.
Yeah. So cool.
Right.
Cool.
If you go Emax, that's like an ARAM build, right?
Right.
All right. Now we move on to Nami, who's possibly, and I'm saying Nami as a joke, it is Nami, who is possibly one of the most overrated bot lane partners with Lucian. Even though it's still strong, there are other bot lanes that scale better now. So the Nami E electrocute interaction is removed.
Oh, thank God.
So back to Airy Nami, and she's not popping damage on you with the Lucian combo. So
I always thought that was stupid.
kiss that goodbye.
I
I thought it was stupid. I thought it was cool, but it was stupid. It was for sure stupid. I was like, oh, this is cool. Dumb, but cool. So that's all I got for that one. And so basically what they're just saying is that each use of E in the past would pop it. It no longer does. It just counts as one single spell cast for effects such as electrocute. So goodbye, Lucian Nami. It was fun while it lasted.
Next we have Nocturne. Base attack speed increased. Passive cooldown decreased. Attack speed ratio. I don't think it's a ratio. I think it's just, they said, see, I think this was one of the were freed that didn't happen.
Right.
So base attack speed was 0.668. Now it is going to start at 0.721. That actually seems like a lot. And then the passive cooldown was 14 seconds. Now it is 13 seconds.
Okay. Let's see here.
Oh, I've never seen this champion before.
Yeah, I know, right? Who is this champion? W dismounted movement speed increased. E cooldown is now flat. Rella's been out of the spotlight for quite some time now, so we're giving her some small quality of life buffs to help get her back on her iron steed. So the Ferromancy Clash Down, she would have a 250 movement speed while dismounted. It's now going to be 280. That's pretty good.
Okay.
That's like an extra pair of slightly magical boots, right? And then the E Attract and Repel was 18 to 11 seconds cooldown. It's now going to be 13 at all ranks. Excuse me.
All right, next we have Renekton. Q base damage decreased. AD scaling increased. Damage was 65 to 205 with an 80% bonus AD, and now it is 60 to 180, and with 100% bonus AD.
Ouch.
The reason I think they're doing that is because a lot of people are going Blade of the Rune King and then Sunfire.
Right.
So they want you to commit a little harder to AD to do more damage. And then the fear,
the Gore Drinker.
yeah, right, exactly. The Fury damage was 100 to 300 with 120% bonus AD, and now that is 90 to 270, but with 140% bonus AD. So yeah, you want to build more AD on this guy. No tank.
For sure. All right, down to old Seti Spaghetti. W80 ratio increased and the E slow increased. So yeah, a lot of people haven't been playing Set on the top side, so this is a nice little buff for him.
Oh my god.
His AD ratio is going to go up by 5% on the W, so it was 20% per 100 bonus AD. It's now going to be 25%.
Wow.
And the Facebreaker slow was 50%. It's now 70%. That's pretty...
Now, I
fucking
know
crazy.
they're buffing like the AD ratio. I think the E buff alone could put him back in support, and who's our boy that loves
could.
playing Set support that's going to Worlds?
That's your boy, dude. He loves it.
Yeah, I could see
the-
who he busting this out. Like,
Like to say, that's the Who He special. Yeah, it's gonna
that's,
be.
I mean, that's pretty insane.
It is.
The fact that the Haymaker does fucking true damage already, and now they're giving an extra 5% damage.
Right.
Oh my god, fucking, I'm
It's
not.
gonna be pretty gross, but
Ugh.
hey, be very interesting.
Moving on to Sivir, AD growth decrease, W bounce AD ratio decrease. This is like the premier AD carry now. AD growth was 3, now it is 2.8. And the
Right.
Ricochet bounce damage AD ratio was 30 to 50% total AD, and now it is 25 to 45 total AD ratio. Okay.
Okay, I'm not mad at that. Silas. I fucking hate seeing this champion. So, the base health is going to be decreased, and the Q cooldown is increased. So, just a slight nerf here. The base health was 595, so I'm going to 575. And the Chain Lash had a cooldown that scaled from 10 to 6. It's going to go 11 to 7. So, he's not going to have as much wave clear on his Qmax builds, and not as much safety with his engage options that he used in pro play. So it really just a pro play style nerf. So yeah, I'll take it, I guess.
Tarek, base magic resist decreased, E cooldown increased. This feels like it's coming out of nowhere. Base magic resist was 32, now it is 28, and the dazzle cooldown was 15 to 11, now it is 16 to 12. Okay.
The old razzle dazzle, dude. Which is pretty good because this guy pairs really well with Neela. It's a pretty gross lane if you can play aggressively enough to win it. Let's see, on to Trundle. W cooldown increase at all ranks. This guy has been all over the jungle and pro play, like he's dominating the jungle and pro play. So it's nice to see a little bit of a nerf come here, and it's actually pretty fat nerf.
Yeah.
The cooldown was 15 to 11. It's going to be 18 to 14 on the Frozen Domain, which includes the attack speed and the movement speed that he gets from it. So that's pretty fucking
And
harsh.
the increased healing.
Yeah, I would expect to see this guy just completely fall out of the meta there.
Next, we have Twisted Fate. A Q AP ratio increased. W mana cost decreased. AP ratio on his Q was 70. Now it is 80%. Pick a card. Mana cost was 40 to 100. Now it is 30 to 70. Okay, that's
Jeez.
pretty fat. It's actually
Yeah,
pretty
it
fucking
is.
good. Wow.
Yeah.
How much does blue card refund?
Off the top of my head, I don't know. But I know the blue card deals the most damage of his 3 cards to pick from. So it's a pretty gross ability for that reason, but it's not the only reason that it's gross. I mean, it gives you a fat amount of
Wow.
fucking mana back.
50 to 150.
Oh, jeez.
That's actually insane, dude. So
That's
I mean,
pretty-
that's free mana. Like,
Right.
I mean, it already was, but like, it's gonna be 50 to 150. So you're gonna be able to get an extra 20. That's wow. That's actually nuts. I mean, I guess it's just in time for Worlds. They want Homeboy porting around the map and making plays. So
They do. They definitely do. Okay, and last champion on the list is Pukong, the crazy monkey. He's another champion that's been all over the jungle, so they're going to take him out in time for Worlds. Base attack speed is decreased, and the base movement speed is decreased. Base attack speed's going to drop from 0.711 to 0.68, and the base move speed is going to lose 5, from 345 to 340, just making his early game a little bit more difficult.
that is it for the champions. Now we move on to items. Everyone's favorite fucking item.
I was hoping it was going to say removed, but it's not.
I'll just
fucking hate this item so much, dude.
I'll run through these because all these changes are kind of similar to stopwatch. So let's see.
Yeah.
So stopwatch cost is getting increased from 650 to 750. Wonderful. Love that. Guardian Angel combined cost was 50, now it is 150, and the total gold was 2,800, now it is 3,000, but the attack damage is going up. I think
Okay.
it's hard to like. I think they want to make people, they want to incentivize people to like build the fucking item that stopwatch builds out, because a lot of times you just see people sit on stopwatch and that's it.
Okay.
Seeker's
I think,
Arm
yeah.
Guard ability power was 20, now it's 30. That's pretty big. And then the Zonia's Hourglass total cost was 2,600. Now it is 3,000. Ability power is going from 65 to 80, and the ability haste is going 10 to 15. That's just a fucking. I'll take 400 gold for. I don't know. It just seems like a buff.
Right.
They want to
does.
incentivize people for completing these items.
Right.
So I mean, regardless, yeah, get rid of stopwatch. Should never be in the fucking game.
Seriously. God, I fucking hate stopwatch. With a passion, I fucking hate stopwatch.
All right.
Okay. So, I think that's it, yeah?
I guess
ARAM
behavioral
balance adjustment.
behavioral systems. Over the last 8 months since we released our new feeding detection model, we have gained the confidence that allows us to make significant adjustments to what we detect as intentional feeding. We expect an increase in detection and punishment of over 2 times. Chat restrictions will be visible on the lobbies screens for yourself and any party members, as well as on individual profile pages. So you're gonna be able to see people who have been punished.
Wow.
Is that what that means? That's kind of okay. And then honor restrictions applied to your account will be visible on your profile page with a lock icon and tooltip.
Okay.
Damn, that's like, man, they're not only are you gonna be punished like in game, but like people are gonna be able to see you and fucking like shit talk you now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Don't do it. Don't fucking do it.
Competitive Summoner's Rift rank queue matchmaking will now focus more on players' MMR and less on their visible rank. I don't like this, because now what happens if I get a platinum player in my games? I'm like, why is there a platinum player?
Because
I don't like
or been trolling.
they just needs to be one thing, either a physical rank or the hidden rank. I would be perfectly fine with like the MMR. Just give me like a ladder with numbers on it or whatever, and like tell
Yeah.
me where I am.
Right.
Like, am I playing with people within 100 points of my MMR? Perfect.
Right.
Understandable. I don't know. They need to fix this shit.
Let's see. QL updates. Updated tooltips and champions that can swap between melee and range forms, like Jace from Italy, so that they now dynamically update values based on whether they are in melee or range form. Okay. Fixed a bug that would cause the cursor to move erratically when using smart pings. Huzzah! How many times have I fucking tried to ping on my way and have pinged careful instead?
Danger. Yeah.
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 Jesus.
Yeah.
That is super fucking important. Fix a bug that caused Draven's R to execute passive our execute passive to still execute enemies through spell shields. That's important. Let's see. I think that's all I see here.
Yeah, I
I
don't
don't
see
see anything
anything.
else
No.
good or crazy.
That's it, guys.
Yeah, I mean, I I like that Blitzcrank skin. Actually, it's kind of cool. Kind of looks like a Mega Man, sort of. Um, what was I gonna say? Oh, yes. So, my question for the week, it has nothing to do. It has a little bit to do with this patch, but my question for the week is, I want to know what champion you want to see at Worlds. Given the fact that play-ins start, I believe, in 2 weeks. It's I think the last week of September,
I think
or there's the first week of October, maybe.
We'll
Because
see.
I think it's 2 weeks worth of play-ins, and then groups start on mid to late October.
September
um,
29th.
There you go. So yeah, we're gonna get one more
Patch on the-
probably small change patch, and I don't think it's gonna be enough to. If anything, it'll just have more champions to choose from in the world's champion pool. So, given these changes, or no, actually, no, I have a better question. Which are you more excited for? Fucking Hecarim, Maokai, or Misfortune? What change are you more excited for? Or that could be your poll, I guess.
Yeah, no, I like your question too.
Original
We can do
question.
both. We'll do both of those. What Maokai, Hecarim, or MF, or and then what champion or champions do you want to see at Worlds?
Yeah. Yeah.
That works, guys. As always, rate us,
safe.
subscribe wherever the fuck you're listening to right now. Join our Discord. Hit us up. Yeah, I mean we're getting into the World season. It's pretty exciting to watch professional play. If you ever have the time, if you ever wanted to watch pro play, or maybe were like unsure about watching it, watch it now. Watch the fucking pros.
Worlds is the time for
It's
sure.
the time. Yeah.
Even this upcoming weekend, the games of Chicago, gonna be good series, good couple series to watch.
Yeah.
And then I just want to make one last note on a different level. Guys, if you are running into any struggles or anything in life and you need some help, or you just want someone to talk to, feel free to reach out to myself or to Dean.
Yeah.
We are more than happy to sit and listen. If you want advice, we're happy to listen and see if there's any advice we can give you. I mean, obviously we're not therapists, but sometimes it helps just to vent some of that stuff out to somebody. So if you feel like you need to get something off your chest, dude, and that goes for men and women, you're all dudes in my book. Feel free, just say, hey, are you free to talk? You know, I just want to talk for a little bit or whatever. Happy to oblige in that regard. So don't be afraid to reach out if you're feeling like you need a little bit of help. But I don't want to leave you guys on a sad note. I want to leave you guys on an excited note, but I also want to make sure I got that in there. I know that it's coming the end of summer, and a lot of people, as some of you go back to school, or you have family and friends that go back to school, sometimes it could be slightly depressive. And I just want you guys to know we are here for you.
Guys, we'll see you next week. Have a great weekend and enjoy your games.
Yeah, later, y'all.